3-1 work together. All right, just a reminder, don't forget about dead coil. Your debit normal balance, meaning the side that increases, is for expenses, assets, and drawing. So if any of those are increasing, it's going to be a debit. Your credit normal balance, the side that increases for credits, is owner's equity, income, and liability. I've also got a couple of T accounts down here that we'll use to set up our transactions. Now, on your assignment, you've got your transactions and you've got your chart of accounts. Okay, so you can see every account that you could possibly use. Down below here, we have our journal. Norma Dirks owns Dirks Copy Center. Using the information provided, journalize each transaction completed during April of the current year. Use page 1 of the journal. Source documents are abbreviated as follows. A check is a C and a receipt is an R. Now, you've got a date column, you have an account title column, a document number column, post reference column, a general debit and credit column, a sales credit column, and a cash debit and credit column. So remember these right here, cash and sales. If cash or sales are ever part of our transaction, they are already written down on our journal. So you will not write cash or sales as an account title. Do not do more work than you have to do. Okay, so remember, cash or sales, you do not write that account title here. All right, so let's look at our first transaction. On April 1st, we received cash from owner as an investment. So when I think about this transaction, the first thing that pops out to me is cash. So I'm going to come over here to my T account, and I'm going to type my first account, cash. All right, when I receive cash, that means my cash is going up. So that's an increase. Cash is an asset. So my normal balance side is a debit. So I'm going to come under here and I'm going to put $2,800 for my cash on my debit side. So my credit is going to be the other part of the transaction. From owner as an investment. So if I go look at my chart of accounts, I can see my account title for owner as an investment is Norma Dirks Capital. So my next T account is Norma Dirks Capital. And if cash is a debit, that means the capital has to be a credit. Okay, remember, all transactions, you must have one debit and one credit. All right, so to fill up your journal, you put the date. They want you to abbreviate, so APR period 1. Now, my accounts, I'm using cash and capital. Remember I told you that if you use cash or sales, you do not write them again. So the only one I'm going to write down is Norma Dirks Capital. Okay. Now my document number is right here, R1, which stands for a receipt. So our number 1 receipt, R1. Notice post ref, you can't even click in there. That's something we're going to talk about later on in another chapter. So I know that cash is debited $2,800. So I go to my cash column and underneath debit, I'm going to type in here $2,800. My credit is for capital. I don't have a special column for capital, so it's going to go under general. So right here under credit, I will type $2,800. So that's how you journalize a transaction. All right. So our second transaction, paid cash for supplies. So again, I have cash. It's a different amount, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that for now. And then it's not going to be capital. It is supplies. Paid cash for supplies. All right, so now cash and supplies are both assets, but I am paying cash, which means cash is going down. So when an asset is decreased, that's not a debit side. Supplies is an asset that's going up, so that is the debit. So I'm going to debit supplies for $415, and I will credit cash for $415. Okay, so now to fill in my journal, the date, you don't have to write April again. Once you write the date, the month for the first time, you just have to put the day, so put a 2 in there. Now, my accounts are cash and supplies. Remember, I am not going to write cash or sales in my journal, so all I'm going to write here is supplies. My document number is C1, a check number 1, okay? Cash is credited for $415, so I come over here to the cash column underneath credit, and I'll type $415. My debit is for supplies. Supplies is not one of my special columns, so it's going to go under the general column, debit, $415. Your debits equal your credits for the whole line, and that's it.